Welcome to listen to the first part of our online recording about the changes to entry declarations. In this video we will describe how the temporary storage declarations are to be lodged from autumn 2022. The declarations for temporary storage will undergo changes in stages. In autumn 2022 there will be changes to the declarations submitted for undeclared goods arriving by air and sea from another EU country. The declarations for consignments arriving from outside the EU will undergo changes in 2023 to 2024. In autumn 2022, it is the temporary storage declarations, presentation notification and unloading report that will undergo changes. The declarations will be submitted with new data content to the new customs clearance system UTU, either via the customs clearance service or through message exchange. This picture shows some of the declarations to be introduced in autumn 2022. The transport companies and their representatives can lodge the temporary storage declaration and related presentation notification either separately or as a combined declaration. The combined declaration can only be submitted after the goods have arrived and can be presented to customs. Customs will either register or reject the declaration. A registered declaration receives a master reference number (MRN) from customs. Customs will inform the temporary storage authorization holder of the arriving goods with a message in situations where the submitter of the declaration and the storage operator are different persons. The temporary storage operator must be a message declarant. The temporary storage authorization holder should submit an unloading report to customs only if they discover discrepancies compared to the information they've received on the arriving goods. Customs may notify the parties about a goods inspection. In that case, this notification will be sent to the submitter of the temporary storage declaration and, as a new feature, also to the temporary storage authorization holder. After inspecting the goods, customs will notify the parties whether the import is allowed or prohibited. Customs may always ask for additional information about the goods. The declarations can be corrected or invalidated. Customs will send the customer a hearing request when customs intends to take a decision that would adversely affect the customer. For its message exchange customers, customs has published message descriptions or specifications for the declarations submitted in the form of messages. They can be found on the customs website via the path e-services, message exchange, message descriptions under the heading Entry. The page Message Implementing Guidelines contains the data requirements for the declarations, a guide for message exchange that describes the message exchange between the businesses and customs, a class diagram, the codes to be used in the declarations, the XML schemas and XML examples. In addition, a version history of the message implementing guidelines is also provided. The new temporary storage declaration must be submitted when undeclared goods arrive in Finland from another Union country or from a non-Union country for which there is no requirement to submit a safety and security declaration on arrival. Such countries are, for example, Norway and Switzerland. The new temporary storage declarations are to be submitted in cases where, for example, a flight arrives at Helsinki Airport from Frankfurt. The temporary storage authorization holder submits an unloading report for these goods if the operator detects discrepancies compared to the declared details. The temporary storage declaration should also be submitted when a vessel has arrived from outside the Union and the goods are unloaded in a place other than the first port of entry to the Union. If the goods arrive from outside the Union, the transport company is to submit an entry summary declaration in the form of a message, just as before. The temporary storage authorization holder must always submit an unloading report for this type of goods. For example, when a vessel arrives in Kotka from St. Petersburg, the transport company or its representative provides the entry summary declaration via AREX or through message exchange and presents the goods to customs. The temporary storage authorization holder in Kotka submits an unloading report via AREX or through message exchange. The vessel's route takes it onward from Kotka to Vuosaari in Helsinki, and in this case, a temporary storage declaration FI 337 of the new format should be submitted for the goods unloaded at Vuosaari, as well as a presentation notification FI 332. The temporary storage declaration should contain a mention of the previously submitted entry summary declaration, whose MRN is provided using the additional information code FIPDR. If needed, the temporary storage authorization holder provides an unloading report on any discrepancies detected. The temporary storage declarations must also be submitted for union goods that arrive by sea on a non-regular shipping service vessel. The declaration must also be submitted if the goods are imported to mainland Finland from another member state from an area outside the fiscal territory of the Union, and the goods have not been placed under a transit procedure. The customs status of Union goods must be proved when the import goods have been transported through a region that is not part of the customs territory of the EU. Usually such situations occur in maritime traffic when Union goods are transported by sea between different locations in the customs territory using a route that has not been granted an authorization for regular shipping service as referred to in the customs legislation. For example, if the vessel carries goods from Hamburg via the port of St. Petersburg to the port of Kotka and continues onwards to Vuosaari harbour, proof of union status must be provided when the vessel arrives at Vuosaari. The union status of goods can be declared using the temporary storage declaration. This is done by providing a separate additional information code and the customs status code C. No separate temporary storage declaration is needed if an electronic transit declaration has been provided for the goods. A temporary storage declaration is likewise not submitted when an entry summary declaration has been submitted for the goods and the goods to be unloaded are presented at first point of entry to the Union, which is located in Finland. A pre-lodged temporary storage declaration may be lodged 30 days prior to presentation of the goods to customs. A separate presentation notification must be submitted for the goods if the temporary storage declaration has been lodged in advance. After being presented to customs, the goods have the status of goods in temporary storage. The goods can be declared for a customs procedure after their presentation. A pre-lodged temporary storage declaration also makes it possible to pre-lodge the customs declaration for the subsequent customs procedure. Once the goods have been presented, customs will proceed to process the pre-lodged customs declaration. If a pre-lodged temporary storage declaration has not been lodged for the goods, a combined temporary storage declaration and presentation notification must be lodged for the goods after their arrival. The transport company is ultimately responsible for lodging the declaration also in this case. If the temporary storage operator notices undeclared items when unloading the goods, a temporary storage declaration must be submitted for these items. A combined temporary storage declaration and presentation notification cannot be submitted before the goods have arrived and are available for inspection by customs. The temporary storage authorization holder will be informed of the goods presented for storage, provided that they are a message declarant and have not submitted the temporary storage declarations themselves. If the storage operator is not a messenger declarant, they can retrieve the information about the goods presented for storage from the customs clearance service. Thank you for watching. If you still have questions about this topic, you can contact us by email at ucc@tulli.fi.